All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners weekend edition. So I want to go through the Bitcoin miners. I've updated all my weekly charts. So we're going to go through those. We're going to go through what happened on Friday with the Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button. Lastly, you can become a member and join the channel by hitting the join button on the YouTube page right next to the subscribe button. So it's $5 a month, and members get some members-only content. We do a members-only live stream once a week, and additionally, the members get to pick a video for me to do each week. So we'd love to have you there. Thanks to those of you who are supporting the channel. Okay, let's talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Friday was a very strange day. So I do want to look at Friday in specific, and then I'm going to go through all of the charts for the entire week. Usually this is the weekend that I'm able to put out the monthly charts and compare everybody's monthly operational update. So I'm just putting this out there. Core Scientific and GREE did not do a monthly operational update yet in the month of December. It's now December 18th, so that would be later than usual. I don't know if we can expect them over the next few days or if they're just not going to put one out for the month of December. So it's a little concerning, particularly we all know something's going on with Core Scientific. So that one's a little bit less surprising. Why GREE has not put out an operational update is a little surprising to me. So hopefully that's coming in the next couple of days, and it's just a matter of it was a few days late. Once we get those, I can finish updating my charts. I have everything ready to go to compare the monthly operations for all the Bitcoin miners. Okay, let's get to Friday. So if we look at the big board, we're going to see there was some wild action here. A few of the Bitcoin miners were green on Friday, but mostly they were in the red, and several of them were deep in the red. So I want to go through those as well. So Bitfarms was up 9%. Bitfarms had some very strange activity. It was down about 8 or 9% with a couple hours left in the trading day, and then it just flipped. And really, there were several stocks that behaved very strangely in about the last 5 minutes of the day in particular. Bitfarms was one of them. So for whatever reason, Bitfarms was up 9% on the day. That was the big winner on the day. Iris Energy was up 4.5%. Wolf was up 3.6%. And Hive was up 1.6%. So those were green. There were several that were red, but anything less than 5%. Bitcoin itself was 3% red. So that is a normal move. But there were a few bigger moves. Marathon was down 10.6%. Marathon and Riot are now putting some distance between each other. For most of this year, Marathon actually had a larger market cap than Riot. That switched about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and now the discrepancy is just getting larger and larger, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. Then we get to Core Scientific. Core Scientific was down 44% on the day. However, Core Scientific was up massively on the week, so this was just giving a little bit back of what they got earlier in the week. Argo Blockchain continues to plummet, down another 21% on Friday, so that was a huge day to the downside. GREE was down 38.98, so 39, almost 40% on the day. So that had some very, very, very unusual activity in the last few minutes of the day as well. So something was going on. Some of these, for instance, GREE in after hours was up 20-something%. So I don't put a lot of stock in after hours. There's usually super light volume and strange things can happen. So we're going to have to wait and see until Monday. But in particular, Core Scientific, Argo Blockchain, and GREE had gigantic down days. Cypher was down 13% as well. And everything else was pretty much down in accordance with what you would expect with a day where Bitcoin was down 3%, the market was down 1%. So that is Friday. So let's take a quick look at Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, the purple line right here, that was where Bitcoin was when the equity markets closed on Thursday of this week. And then this orange line, of course, is where Bitcoin was when the equity markets closed on Friday of this week. So that was right at around 16,870. Now we've had this blue line of support for the entire month of December. We closed right on that line, as you can see. Right after the close, we dipped below this, and we have not been back above it since. So we definitely have had a little shift. Unfortunately, this is a lower low. That is not a good sign in the short term. So I've been calling for a relief rally by the end of the year, but I'm afraid that right now the technicals are not looking that great. So I'm not going to go through them and dig through them because honestly, the technicals and the fundamentals have had a lot less to do with what's going on than other high-profile news stories and the Fed. So we'll just wait and see. There's 2 weeks left. We either get our rally or we don't. I'm looking at this blue line at around $16,875. If this turns into resistance and it's starting to look like that may happen, remember, this is a 4-hour time frame. frame. So this is all weekend long. We have not even touched this line. Having said that, we have been incredibly stable. In the 4-hour candle right after the market closed on Friday, we took a big turn to the downside, and then we have been extremely stable ever since. So we'll see what happens. A lot of sideways action with Bitcoin, right? We were 2 weeks just above this line, and now we're the weekend just below this line. So we'll see where it goes. I want to go to the weekly charts now and take a look at what happened to Bitcoin miners this week. Okay, here's the first chart. This is comparing Friday, December 16th to the previous Friday, December 9th. So this is what happened last week. So you can see they're all over the place. This is not a long-term chart. This is literally just 5 days of trading. So we have over 100% discrepancy from the high to the low on this chart. There were 3 Bitcoin miners that outperformed Bitcoin on the week. You're going to see Bitcoin in gold. It was down 1% on the week. So it was down 3% on Friday. It was down 1% on the week. So you can see it was really very sideways week. Bitfarms just beat that by a little bit, 3%. Any beat that by 9%. But the big standout here, obviously, is Core Scientific up 77%. At one point, Core Scientific was up over 200%. And then it did pull back a little bit back down to earth, but still, this is a 1 week move of 77% to the upside. So on a week where Bitcoin was down 1%, I would really say all of these, Iris, Hive, DigiHost, Mawson, DMG Blockchain, even Hut was down 7%. You know, that's not unreasonable on a week where Bitcoin was down 1%. So, you know, these were a little bit outsized. Hut, Stronghold, Riot was down 9%, Bit Digital down 9%, Cleanspark down 11%. So those a little bit underperformed. But then we go to another group. Marathon was down 22%, Cypher was down 23%, Gree was down 28%, Argo Blockchain 44%. Remember, this is this week. And Wolf was down 49%. So these moves are drastic. I mean, these are 1 year type moves that are happening every single week with some of these Bitcoin miners. So this is why I always say every week, please, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy these or sell these. Do your own due diligence. You need to understand your own risk tolerance because there's very few stocks, there's very few industries you'll see that are this volatile. And I see no end in sight in the near future with these Bitcoin miners. So obviously, personally, I'm very bullish on some of these Bitcoin miners in the long term, but the volatility continues as you can see on this chart. So this is basically the last 4 months of activity. So you're going to see in first place is Bitcoin. This gold line right here, Bitcoin's down 33% off of its highs from August. So this chart does make a lot of sense. We know that the Bitcoin miners are a leveraged play on Bitcoin, which is great when Bitcoin is on a bull run, and it's just awful when Bitcoin is in a bear market like it is right now. So you can see we start out here, the very best one of these is DMG and Any at 61% down. So there's a 2x leverage versus the 33% down, and it only gets worse from there. So you can see there is no miner that's doing well. All of these miners are down drastically. And so what I've been trying to do is look at this chart and see, are there some of these stocks, you know, most of these stocks are down 70 to 95%. That being said, is there any stock that you feel is decent in there that has a strong balance sheet and that you feel is going to make it through the crypto winter and they're progressing nicely, they're having nice operational updates? That's what I'm looking for. A stock like that, but yet still it's down 65 or 70 or 80% just because this entire industry has had the money sucked out of it. So I do think there's a few opportunities in here. Having said that, some of these are down for a reason. Lastly, I just want to take a look at market cap. The market cap of this industry is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. It was down another 10 or 12% this week. It was at its all-time low last week, and it's down from there. All 18 of the Bitcoin miners on this chart, all added up put together, are about $2.2 billion. There were 6 or 7 Bitcoin miners individually worth more than that a year ago. So you can see this has been a drastic pullback. I've got 2 of these in green because there are 2 companies that still clearly have a much larger market cap than the rest of the companies in this industry, and they are Riot and Marathon. So like I said, they have flipped spots. Marathon was that first place spot for most of the year. Riot is now in first place, and it's putting some pretty decent distance. It's actually $200 million ahead of Marathon at this point. And then Hut is in third place and Hive is in fourth place. Now, Hive put out their operational report and they did not tell us what their Bitcoin hodl was. And that is the first time they left that piece of information out. So in the past, Hive has had the 4th largest Bitcoin hodl out of all the companies. However, they did specifically say they sold some Bitcoin in the month of November, but they didn't tell us how much and how much they have left. So I don't know where Hive is at, but Riot, Marathon, and Hut, those 3 companies are the 3 companies that have the most Bitcoin on their balance sheet, and those are number 1, 2, and 3 in market cap. So I think that is no coincidence at all, because so the emphasis does not seem to be on operations at this point. The emphasis seems to be on Bitcoin hodl and strength of balance sheet. So that logic is a little inversed in my mind, because if you don't believe in Bitcoin, then I'm not sure why you're putting your money in the companies that are holding the most Bitcoin, but that seems to be what's happening. Like I said, I'm waiting for Gree and Core Scientific to put out their November monthly operational reports, and then I can publish all my November reports. So that's all I got for this weekend. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Thanks so much for watching, and remember to like and subscribe and join if you want. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.